Hello and welcome into this week's women's edition of BTN Soccer Report. Well, what a weekend it was for Penn State University. Not only did Joe Paterno tie the great Eddie Robinson with 408 career wins, but the women's soccer team did what no other Big Ten women's team has ever done before, win 14 straight conference titles. Penn State clinched this year's Big Ten Women's Soccer Championship after their 9th consecutive win on Sunday at Michigan. And I'm delighted to be joined by a young woman that leads the nation in goals and points. She's won Big Ten Offensive Player of the Week 4 times already this season. She's represented the US, and if that's not enough, she comes across as the happiest footballer in the world. Maya Hayes, how would you describe this past few months?
Past few months have been great, awesome. Everything we wanted this season to be, and probably more. And from here, we just got to continue what we've been doing and remain consistent and keep playing our game.
Now, you had a very impressive year last year, but what did Coach Walsh have you work on in the off-season to really kind of put you in the place that you are right now?
Always work on fitness in the off-season, as well as keep my movement up to par. That's one of the big things I've tried to make a difference in this year, is my ball movement for my teammates when they have the ball, as well as just changing speed and getting into space when I can.
Tell me a little bit about your teammates. You look like a really happy bunch out there. You've got a couple of really dominant seniors that have kind of led you in the right direction, haven't they?
Yes, the leadership this year has been awesome, and we always talk about we know where we've been, and after last season where it was a bit of a rough patch to get to that 13th Big Ten championship, we know where we've been, and we remember that every single day, going to training, going into games, and we never get a big head, and our team's awesome. I love our team, and we're just a group of girls that just love to have fun, and we define fun as working hard and making each other better every single day.
Well, that's wonderful to hear. Now, 14 straight Big Ten titles. What does that mean to Coach Walsh and the Penn State program?
It means legacy. It means just playing for those that have come before us, and that's our motto for our alumni. We know how much they put in, and we put on the Nittany Lion jersey to respect them and to honor them, and we play as hard every single day, whether it's practice or a game. We put in the work to play for those who came before us.
Now, I'm sure you kept a close eye on the World Cup over the summer. Looking ahead to 2015, is that something you feel you can go on and achieve yourself?
It's definitely something I aspire to be a part of, definitely. I mean, I can't predict what will happen, but hey, I'm just going to work my butt off to get to where I can get to, and whatever happens, happens.
Well, Maya, congrats on everything so far this season. I must say, you have the most infectious smile, and you make us all smile when we look at you out in the field. So keep it up, and good luck in the tournament this year. Thanks for joining us on BTN Soccer Report.
Thank you so much.
Well, let's reflect on what that 4-0 win on Sunday did for Erica Walsh's side. They've importantly clinched that #1 seed for the Big Ten tournament that starts next week at Northwestern, and they've also extended their fabulous record against the Wolverines to 11 games unbeaten. And joining me to talk about that famous feat is our BTN analyst Kyndra D Aubin. Kyndra, you called the game on Sunday. Tell me, how special is this Penn State team?
Well, I think this Penn State team has just made huge strides from last year. I mean, we know the success. Obviously, you talked about the 14 straight title, but there's something different about this team than even just last year. And Coach Erica Walsh just really emphasizing the seniors. They just kind of took their responsibility and ran with it when they came in this season.
Well, speaking to Maya Hayes was fantastic a little earlier on today, and you know, she's such a great character, but she's also such a fabulous player. Talk to me a little bit about Maya Hayes and the impact she's had on the Big Ten this year.
Well, I was really impressed with Maya Hayes. It was the first time that I had seen her play this season, and she's a sophomore, but I didn't really remember her from her freshman season, and she's just really composed on the ball, and more importantly was the runs that she was making. It didn't seem like a sophomore. She just made these kind of slicing runs back and behind. She knew how to play. She knew where her defender was at all times. She was just kind of always in the right spot at the right time, and as you saw in those couple goals on Sunday's game, I mean, she's just a great finisher.
Well, Kyndra, one thing Maya did mention was that she would love to be part of the US national team playing in the 2015 World Cup. Can you see her being involved in that maybe in a few years' time? And who else in the Big Ten?
Well, I think she could absolutely be involved in that 2015 World Cup. I mean, she's got a couple years ahead of her to gain some more experience and kind of some more knowledge of the game and maybe even build her physical presence a little bit. As you saw, she's kind of tall, lanky, a little bit slight. So I think if she continues to grow, she has a chance if she keeps working hard. And she's leading the nation, you know, in Division I in goals and points. And that's something that's really difficult to do with the talent that's out there for Division I. The other player that I could see possibly being in that pool would be Vanessa D Bernardo from Illinois, who's also a sophomore, and she was the freshman of the year last year in 2010. She's got that soccer blood in her with her dad being Angelo Di Bernardo. You know, he was on the U.S. men's team for 7 years. So Coach Rayfield also had said with Illinois, Vanessa is kind of that quiet confidence, and her goal is also to get to that 2015 team.
Well, I want to talk to you about the Big Ten tournament now, and we may as well touch on Illinois. Can you see Illinois challenging Penn State at the tournament, or do you see the Nittany Lions winning out comfortably?
Well, I don't know that I see the Nittany Lions winning out comfortably. I mean, we know they're 9-1-0 in the conference play, and Illinois is right on their heels. But anything can happen, not just in the Big Ten, as we've seen throughout the season, but also in the tournament. You know, that's why we play the tournament. That's why they have this, and I'm so glad it's back this season. But it's going to be a challenge because these teams are wrapping up, you know, Saturday, Sunday of this weekend, and they're going to have to turn around and then start those games on Wednesday. So it's going to be a lot of games in a very short amount of time. And I think with Penn State, they've got what it takes to get it done. But I wouldn't be surprised if Illinois, even Wisconsin, you know, kind of sneak in there and take this one. Well, brilliant stuff as always, Kyndra. We appreciate your time. No problem. Thanks, Kevin. Okay, now BTN and BTN.com have you covered for all the great upcoming tourney action. Join Kyndra for the semi-finals and finals. They're live on BTN. And if you can, you should head out and catch a few games at Lakeside Field, easily one of the most picturesque soccer grounds in the country. Now, big news announced a few days ago. Fox has won the television rights to broadcast the next two FIFA Women's World Cups in 2015 and 2019. So, as Kyndra mentioned, we'll see maybe hopefully a few players go on and represent their countries at the highest level. Now, for all you soccer junkies, make sure to get your free Big Ten programming alerts on your mobile phone. Simply text WSOC to 20284. Messages and data rates may apply. Well, that's all for this week's BTN Soccer Report. As always, do check us out on Twitter at BTN Soccer Report. Until next week, take care.